Okay,
Just
hi Dee.
click OK.
Thanks.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Thanks for joining me. I just wanted to invite you to do a little interview because I am interested in just introducing everybody in the Herbalist Collaborative to our online community. So I would just love to hear about your path, like how you ended up on your plant path, what brought you to the Herbalist Collaborative, and maybe where your what your offerings are, so that people know who you are and what you're doing.
Oh, thanks, Justine. Thanks so much for that opportunity.
Mhm.
So, a quick backstory would be like I feel like I've always been on a plant path. When I was probably about 12, I bought a copy of Culpeper from an antique store, and I was fascinated by that. And I remember we had a family dog who had an eye infection, and so I turned to Culpeper and got some plantain leaves and mashed them up, and made a tea, and dropped that into the dog's eye, and it got better. And I was like, "Oh, this is very cool." Uh, and so I always wanted to do something with herbs. And so when I went off to university in the UK, I studied biological sciences with botany as my major. I kind of thought that botany would be a cross between the science of plants and what plants are good for, like herbalism. And of course, it had no herbal content or anything remotely related to herbal content at all. So that was a bit disappointing. But I think, life goes on and you get your degree, and then in my case, I went off to Germany to study why forests were what the effects of air pollution were on forest growth. And that didn't go very well for various reasons. So then I went off to China and studied some Chinese and then Chinese medicine. And I ended up doing a PhD on the history of Chinese medicine and its interactions with Western medicine. And that basically made me into an academic. So now I'm a college teacher of history of medicine and East Asian history. And all this time in the back of my mind, I've had the idea that what I really want to be is a herbalist. So I'm just coming to the end now of a 4-year master's program in the UK. Well, it's a master's level program. That actually all the university programs in herbalism in the UK have been closed down. And so this is an online version that's been produced by the National Institute of Medical Herbalists in the UK, and that qualification then will be recognized by the National Institute. And so in the UK, I would be cleared to be a herbal practitioner because that is recognized there. It's of course not recognized here. But in the middle of all that, I got cancer. And the chemo and radio regime was a particularly grueling one. And so I took some time out, and I'm now thankfully back at more or less full strength, probably 80% of the energy that I had before. And that was the second time actually that I've been through cancer. I had melanoma 20 years ago as well. And so I feel like there's so much suffering. Cancer patients go through so much misery, from the nausea and vomiting and the mouth ulcers that make it difficult to eat, and the various side effects. And most people don't ever hear, for instance, that I'm sorry about the notifications. Most people don't hear that chemotherapy is a real predictor of diabetes because of the pounding that it gives the cells of the pancreas when you're undergoing chemo. So people who've had chemo are much more likely to get diabetes, which they never tell you going into it. And then, radiation leads to problems with your bones and connective tissue around the site of radiation. So you're more likely to get arthritis. You're more likely to have connective tissue problems. And all of these effects, I'm not going to call them side effects because they're baked into the treatments. All of these effects can be helped with various natural treatments, including herbs. And also, it's terrifying when you get a cancer diagnosis and people don't really want to talk about it because it's almost synonymous with you're dying. And so I kind of feel like, having been around that roundabout a couple of times now, and also having had the benefit of this quite extensive education in herbs and natural healing, that is probably where I can be the most use to people as a herbalist. And then, was it a year ago now that you've recruited me into the collaborative?
In March, it'll be a year.
Oh, wow. So it's only half a year.
Yeah,
I
because
feel like I've known you for such a long time because you've been such a great mentor to us all. So Justine, you put together this great group of baby herbalists and wannabe herbalists and more experienced people from different walks of life. And so what we've been able to do together is really discuss the practicalities of getting established in business or established herbal practices, various ways of talking about what we do on social media, which I don't want to say it is marketing, but there's a sense in which a lot of marketing feels a bit not genuine. And so we've been really able to help each other find ways to talk about what we do without, doing focus groups to find out what people say they want and then offering what people want, whether or not we can do it, right? Which is one way that marketing, I think, can misrepresent what people do. So by being in the collaborative and by talking with you all about my aims, and also you all sharing your aims and your challenges with each other, I feel like I'm much more confident now about setting out in herbal practice. And as I get towards retirement age, I'm not a young baby herbalist. I'm an old baby herbalist. So my retirement plan is to retire and go into full-time clinical practice. And I feel like being a member of the collaborative enables me to see how other people put the pieces together and learn best practice for these marketing or sharing activities and deal with challenges. Sometimes you have somebody who comes to you for treatment and really rubs you the wrong way, and that's always a challenge as a health guide or health coach, because in a way you're giving part of yourself, and when somebody comes along and violates what you thought that relationship was in some way, you need somewhere to go process those kinds of things. And so it's really, really helpful to have a group that you can talk about the challenges of interpersonal dynamics in the herbal field. So I'm just about to renovate a little space at my house that's going to be my clinic. And obviously we've all been seeing friends and family for a long time, but I'd really like to make it much more formal. My business name is Boston Herbs, and I haven't made an LLC yet, but I probably should. And that's what I'm going to be doing.
That's amazing. I know we're working on your website right now, which is really exciting.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
The best aesthetic sense I've ever seen. So yeah.
Aw, thank you. And thank you for sharing all that. This is so a wonderful opportunity, because I just think that in the Herbalist Club, we like slowly get to know each other over the time we spend together, which is so beautiful. So it's like I've picked up bits and pieces about your past and what you've been through, and your experience, your professional experience as well. But this was a nice way to hear it all kind of fluidly. And I just want to say that I continue to just be so impressed by all your experiences. Of course, as you know, we focus on like the energetic part of herbalism in the Herbalist Collaborative, and that's very tied to, I would say, the Eastern philosophies. And sort of where I got inspired was through my acupuncturist and through Ayurveda, and like that recognition that in the Western kind of medical field, this concept of any kind of like spirit or this energetic thing, like people don't even know what we're talking about, as I didn't when my acupuncturist first started telling me about it. But it's just such a beautiful concept. So the fact that you have so much background in that field is so impressive to me. And I just feel like, yeah, you're gold. You've just got so much to offer all of us. And I'm just so honored that you're
Oh, now I'm a bit embarrassed.
no,
Stop that.
receive it. You need to receive it, because no, truly, I stop and think like, geez, you could be running this. You have so much to offer. You really do. And I'm just grateful to be able to receive that in the group. And it is really, really why I created it, because I just wanted to like call community to me, people who are like-minded, who we can support each other, but especially who we can learn from each other. And I just feel like you're a wealth that way. And I know I called you a visionary in my last blog post, because you brought this idea of hosting this herbal conference together. And now we haven't
It's happening.
announced it officially, but like, here it is. We're planning an herbal conference for 2024, and it's called Gather, and it was Bee's idea, and you were planning on doing it, and you've kind of called upon the Herbalist Collaborative to work together and do it. And
I think that is the amazing value added, I guess, of Gather, because I've been thinking for a while I could do a conference. I've done academic conferences before. I could do this. There's not really a lot of conferences, particularly south of Boston, but in any case, there's just not a wealth of places to go and learn. Actually, no, let me take that back. There is a wealth of places to go and learn, but I thought having a conference would be cool.
Yeah.
And then I started to think about all the bits that you have to do to run a conference and how much that is. And I had just joined the collaborative, and it's like, well, this person's really good at websites. That would be you, Justine, and also thinking through, you're a really good planner. And we have somebody else, Jen, who is very, very good at marketing and putting out information. And we have somebody who's very good, Tamar, at thinking about the consequences and the intentions and keeping us real as to how is this going to benefit the community and how can we make it benefit the community and at the same time not wear ourselves out. And so we've got this amazing team that it's fun to get together and plan these things, and also it makes everything so much easier.
Absolutely. I know. I'm like, this is my idea of like socializing, but we're also get to be productive and create.
Exactly. I really look forward to our meetings, and then every time we're a step closer to where we want to be. Yeah, so yeah, that's a little subgroup of the Herbalists Collaborative that's come out of that. But we could totally do other things. Maybe the next time you run this, there'll be a lot of people who think that they would like to have a particular focused education, and that would be something that the collaborative could put together for its members.
Yeah.
And in fact, you've been doing that to a great degree with the energetics discussions that we've been having. It's like, let's get straight on what we mean by energetics.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. And inviting Kat Meyer to come lead
which is just amazing. We're going to have Kat Meyer teach us the next thing. I'm signing up again for sure. Yeah, it's just brilliant.
I know.
And she is brilliant. So, yeah. And then, because we're a group, she can talk to us, and then we can get together afterwards and go over what she said and kind of digest it together. Because often when I remember, I'm still in the university system, in the college system, but often you go to a talk and you think, oh, that was a good talk, and then the next day you've basically forgotten it.
Yeah, totally. Yep.
And we're in a field where we don't, we need to apply what we learn, and so the collaborative is this great space where we can talk about some experience we've had and then really consolidate it and talk about the consequences and develop
deeper
develop
understanding.
things out of that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to who you get in the next go around.
I know. I know.
Um,
We do have more interest this go around, so I think it'll be a bigger group, which is exciting.
that is exciting. Yeah, because I remember, feeling a bit lost at the beginning of the year and
Mhm.
seeing you talk about the community that you were creating, and I was like, I need that for myself. I
Right?
need that for myself, which is kind of like what you said. You called a community to yourself because you knew you needed one, but you didn't know where to find it.
Yes, that was it.
But
And
you just made it happen.
yeah,
Brilliant.
for years I was like trying to find, I always write about this. I was trying to find the next teacher, the next class. I was trying to find it. And my last teacher, Brittany Nickerson from Time Herbals, was like, I think you need to stop studying and just start doing and like create what you're looking for. And as soon as she said it, I was like, oh, you're right. I'm ready. I'm ready and I'm going to do it. And I just created something that I was able to work with, and like I told you before we do this, I like to just wing it and then refine it. So it's an
Well, and that,
ongoing process.
that's called learning by doing, right? It's a perfectly legitimate way to do stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, totally. Thank you. Well, it's been such a pleasure. If there's anything else you want anybody to know, I'm going to post this on Instagram, so there'll be ways for people to contact you. I think you're such a treasure, and I think that specializing in cancer and survivors of cancer and support around cancer is such a beautiful and needed asset to bring to this community. So, thank you, and I just
Oh, thank you, Justine. Yeah.
look forward
So
to.
yeah, I'm looking forward to when is the next gather meeting going to be starting up again?
Do you mean that for the herbalist
Oh,
collab?
sorry, no, I don't. So I mean, when is the gather? By the way, is the name of our conference. So I'm getting a bit mixed up. Must
Yeah,
be a
I'm
feature
gonna
of getting older.
I'm gonna post about that officially pretty soon. But yeah, the Herbalist Collaborative is officially starts November 1st, but there's going to be an orientation on October 25th. So you're welcome to come to that. And I'm offering a free webinar for people to come ask questions, and you're welcome to come to that just to hang out and meet potential interested members.
That's so cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm really looking forward to that again. And yeah, I might come to one of those just to
Yeah.
meet people.
Yeah, I'd love to see you
Yeah,
there.
who's coming? Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. All
All
right. Well,
right.
thank you so much, B, and I hope you have a lovely day.
You too.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. Bye.